So hey you guys, this is Blvd and I'm back with another video, and today's video is going to be something a little bit more intimate. I want to let you guys know that I have started doing like my business entrepreneur videos that I want to do for you guys. So I did like a little sample to see how y'all would take it, if you actually like it. And y'all seem to be responding really well. So what I wanted to do was a video today where basically I go through the whole motions of me being a business owner. I know that I'm gonna just start my business entrepreneur story with you guys, and then we'll take off from there. And then every video after that, it'll kind of be a lead up to what's gonna happen next or what's gonna come. So for example, with me, you guys know that I'm the owner, CEO, and designer of shopblvd.com. No, everything I design, everything on my website I do not design, but some of it, and it's becoming to be most of it, I am. So one thing I want to tell you guys is I do have an actual clothing line, apparel line, and I sell clothes, accessories. I sell clothes, accessories, and some ready-made wigs, but they're not like human hair, they're synthetic, actual like baseball cap wig, which become like one of my top sellers actually. With this video, I just want to get into some things, y'all. I just want to talk about some stuff. I did want to have this video all planned out and say exactly what I was going to say and do this and do that, but it didn't even come to pass like that. I just want to give you a little bit of background on my story from before, of why I had my store and why I ended up closing, and then why I'm back now. So I had my store back in when I first moved to LA, which was like 2017 all the way entirely to 2018, and a little bit of 2019. When I first did my store, it was the same thing. I was selling clothes, accessories as well. And it's just because clothes have always been my first passion. You guys know that's what my major in from college is, fashion merchandising. So I've always been into clothes and that kind of aesthetic. With my first clothing brand, it actually took off way faster than I expected. I knew I had a pretty big fan base, but I did not know exactly how big it was going to be and how it was going to actually direct and take to me selling clothes. And when I tell you that first time I did my website, I made it myself. I actually was the model for my website. I did all those things, and it just seemed as though it worked. So when I first did it, it was just me. And I was the one packing orders. I was the one doing the customer service. I was the one doing all that stuff. And basically, it got to a point where it had outgrew my house. Like my clothing and all that stuff. It was just too much clothes everywhere, accessories everywhere. So I figured I would get a studio. And I ended up getting my first studio. I hired my first employee, but she was like part-time. And everything was going smooth. Everything was going well. But it got to a point where I just was not happy with my store no more. And when I say I wasn't happy with it, I wasn't happy with the aesthetic of how my store was. My store actually was making money. I'll put receipts and show you guys. It was actually making money. It was very good income for my store. When I first did it, the thing that made my store grow so much is I did not pay myself out of my store money. All the money that I made from my store went directly back into my damn store, like straight up. Like any money I made, it went straight back into the store. Whether that was paying an employee, whether that was paying for accessories, whether that was paying for clothing, whether that was paying for photo shoots and all that kind of stuff, it all went back into the store. I never paid myself. I never dibbled and dabbled in that money. The only time I used that bank card was for literally to pay for stuff that the store needed. That was, you know, it was going well far as financially, but for me mentally, I just didn't like the store no more. I felt like it just was going in a direction I didn't want to. And at that time, I wasn't in a place where I knew what to do with my store and how to maneuver it. And also, like I said, I had my first employee. Like I said, the girl was a very sweet girl. I don't think I never showed y'all her because I don't really do that, but she was a very sweet girl. She was very smart. But the thing about it is I hired her for a assistant slash store manager type of role, and I think that was just too much for her at that time. I feel like personally with me, it's just one of those things where I'm above average with starting a store. And that's not to sound cocky, that's not to be on no bullshit, but it's just to be honest. I feel like when I first started my store, I feel like when I say I start a store, I call my store a small business, but That's because I look at multi-millionaire businesses and corporations as big businesses. Like with me, I say it's a small business because it's a new business and it is smaller on a scale, but in a sense, it's not really the typical small business startup. When I say that, I mean presence. So when I grew my business, it's like my social media presence also helped add to growing my business. It wasn't like I just grew my business from just finding random customers. In a sense, there are random people, but they know me. We have a relationship. We have a bond. And so it was way easier to sell my products to people that have been watching me, follow me, and trust me, versus me coming out the gate with just a store and just trying to get sales from people that really have no clue of who I am. She helped me with starting my business and getting it to the position of where it's at. I really love y'all for that. I really do. Because I know it just made me having a small business and my business be so much more grateful from the jump. And let me retract back to what I was saying is, I feel like with her, she would have been great starting like that, but with me, it's like the level that I needed and the mass of people that I need. So it's only but so much I can really expect somebody to do that's part-time. But yeah. So with that being said, we ended up parting ways. And once we ended up parting ways, it was like I still had orders and doing all this other stuff. I still wanted to get my YouTube jumping. I had just really kind of got to LA. I was still kind of new. I had only been here for like a year and some change. And I just felt like I was consumed with my store. I literally could not do anything except for store stuff. I was to the point where I couldn't even post on YouTube, y'all. Like, it really was crazy. But, you know, I just was like, you know, I'm not going to really let that hold me back. I'm just going to do what I need to do. Come to find out, after I did that, what I need to do, I shut my store down. And it's crazy because I was hurt and it was something I really didn't want to do, but I knew I had to do it because it was just the way I wanted to bring my store back. And in that last month, I believe, like I said, I made $34,000. And it was just like, I think everybody was kind of sad about it. It was just one of those things where I just couldn't do the store at the level at what I wanted to do it. And it wasn't the best that I could do. It just wasn't. And for me, if I can't do something 100%, I'm going to shut that shit down because I need to make sure I'm doing my shit right. I need to do what I'm doing adequately. And like I said, at that time, I was doing the photo shoots myself. I was running the store myself. I was doing the customer service. I was packing the orders. I was also talking and contacting other models to come in and do Instagram trial hauls. I was just doing so much. I was just doing too much. Too much, especially for me to want to have another career with it. And then that's when, I took some time away and I regathered myself, I regrouped my store, and I figured out what way I wanted my store to go. And that's what got me here. So that's what got me here is, for example, with my store, I feel like I got my business on point. Do you hear me? When I say on point, I'm about to show y'all. So with me, I always keep my analytics on my I always keep my analytics on my phone, straight up. So basically, it lets me know it's 25 people that's live on my store now. If you look down, it tells you the abandoned checkout rate. Before, it was 81%. And now I've gotten it all the way down to 65%. That means that's about 65% of people are abandoning their cart versus 81%. So I got it down dang on near about 20%. That's amazing. And then today, it lets you know that I made 2.1K and I have 45 orders today. Yesterday, I made about $1,000. I had 21 orders yesterday. And then for this week, I made 4,200, and that's 88 orders. And then for the month, we've made 16,600 so far, and that's 348 orders. And currently right now we have 28 orders to fulfill. So, like, that's what I'm telling you. Girl, I be on that damn analytics. You hear me? I be on that. I be on that shit. Because that's what makes sense. And I feel like those are things that I did not take into consideration last time. I promise to you I did not. I just didn't pay it in mind. But honey, we on some different time now, okay? Right now, I feel like the aesthetic of my store is very, very much so me. And far as me not being the only model, I wanted to bring different shades and colors and body types and just females that's in my energy and in my aura for my store, because I want to make other women feel like they can wear my clothes as well. Not just somebody that looks like me or somebody that is exactly who I am. I want to give you variety and shades. And also, y'all know I'm really busy, so I can't really do everything on my own like I would like to before. So now I do incorporate models. That was something that I really, really wanted to do. Far as plus size, I know a lot of people's going to chew me out about plus size, but I just feel like with me, now a lot of people that follow me are plus size, and I get that, but I just feel like far as on the clothing aspect, I don't think people respect me in the plus size community yet, which I'm just being 100% honest. I feel like when I sold plus size clothing items before, you know, they would sell, but they weren't selling as much as I could sell other things. And it's because, you know, when I put an item on and I sell it plus size, when I put an item on, people that's around the same size range as me can kind of get a variation of, you know, what it'll kind of look like. I feel like if I was plus and I put plus clothes on, they could get a variation of what I look like, what they would look like. But the thing about it is I'm not plus. And then when I bring in other plus models, girl, last time, it was one girl, she was very pretty. I'll put her picture here. This was my model. She actually was wearing the clothes from my site, and they read her for filth. They just was saying that she wasn't a proper plus model, she wasn't the correct sizing and all that other stuff. And I believe she was an extra large to 1X. But that's how that went. And then this time, you know, I decided to try. I really didn't want to do plus, and that's not because I didn't want to do plus. I just felt like it wouldn't be financially beneficial to me because I just know what has happened in the past when I sold plus size clothing. I want to give my followers and supporters what they want. So I took it upon myself to want to do plus. And I did it, and I feel like this time I wasn't mad about it, but it was just so many people with so many different aspects of, oh, these clothes don't fit plus size, oh, we don't have a plus size model. So, you know, it's a lot that comes with doing clothes in general, but far as adapting and trying to reach out to a size range that you aren't in, it's kind of hard. And I feel like with me, I'm not going to give up on it. It's just something that I have to work on, and I have to get into that. So that's far as the plus goes. And also I feel like the numbers got to add up and they got to make sense. I don't want to just have plus on my website just to say that I do offer plus size. If I offer plus size, I want it to be because people are actually into the plus or want to buy the plus or people love the plus. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to say, oh, we offer plus just to say we offer plus. Because to me, I don't care about saying I offer something. If it ain't selling and it ain't making money, I honestly want it to be out there on people's bodies, and I want to fly it off my shelf. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing about that. But far as my website now, like I said, I got a professional web developer to do the website. I feel like a lot of things in it is very nice to have for a web designer, but I also feel like a lot of those things is something I've done before with my other websites, so I most likely probably could maneuver myself if I really get into it. I have a graphic artist / designer that we just hired, so I'm really excited about that. I feel like also we have a full-time employee. My first time with a full-time employee. My assistant, she was my assistant for YouTube for about a year, and she did so well that I went ahead and brought her on as a full-time employee. So I'm really, really happy about that. And then also we're currently going to be hiring interns and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm really, really at a great place with my business right now, and it's still in the beginning stages. We only been in for about a month. But about a month and a half, honestly. About a month and a half or so. But I feel like it's really, really great. And number one, consistency is everything. Being very consistent and being very, very persistent. I feel like consistency is, like I said, every freaking thing. With me, it's been sometimes, and it's crazy, you probably wouldn't think so, but it's been times where it's been like about maybe 2 or 3, 4 days, and I really haven't got many orders, maybe like 5 orders or 3 orders within those 3 to 4 days. And to me, I'm just like, what is going on? What's the problem? And I have to understand that maybe I didn't post enough on Instagram this week, or maybe I didn't send enough email blasts out to email my customers this week, or maybe I just didn't post many bomb pictures. Like, you have to understand your customer and figure out what are you doing, and if you're doing something and it doesn't seem to be working, then you need to look at it, redirect, and keep trying until you get it right. I feel like we're people that are in the business aspect now, please don't do what I do. Don't do what I did. I feel like you need to know when it's time to hire somebody. And I follow a lot of young Black women that are very inspirational to me and tell me things that I need to do. And I feel like Ming Lee hit it on the head when she said to me, well, she didn't personally say to me, but she was said on her live video, she was like, you need to know when to hire somebody, because that'll be your biggest downfall if you don't. And that's what me, I feel like the first time in my store, I didn't know when to hire somebody. I just wanted to keep all the money. And I was making $34,000, $17,000, $20,000 a month. And I'm literally talking about I don't want to hire somebody. Like, what do you mean you don't want to hire somebody? Like, you can't do all this by yourself. So guess what happened in the end? My store ended up closing down because number one, it wasn't in the direction I wanted to go. And number two, because I didn't have help. The people wanted to buy, the customers were there, but I didn't have the freaking help. And see, now my store, we have a goal, and my goal has already been met, and it's half of the month. My goal for the month to me this year was to be $15,000. And my goal now, we've already surpassed 15,000, and we haven't even finished the month out. Another thing is, I feel like, and I speak numbers, because I feel like when you speak numbers, that makes it makes people pay attention, and it makes you understand in this real life things, and I can show y'all proof. Another thing is, I feel like with my website, I'm very much more in tune with my analytics. I think before I was just one of the things where I would pop an item on there and just see if it sells and see how it go. I'm very much more in tune with my analytics. How many people are on my website right now? When is the people on my website at the most? When are people purchasing? What are they actually purchasing? What are they buying? And those type of things really help me out with picking items. I feel like my first set of items that I had, people was like, oh, you don't have so much inventory. And that's because I did it that way, and because I wanted to see what people were going to buy and what they were going to gravitate to. And I feel like when I have, to me personally, when you have so many different items, when people are picking, you don't know what people are really into. And from me putting out my inventory the way I did, it helped me to learn and grow off of that, to know what to pick in the future and know what to add on, or know something they might possibly like. But I'll get to that in a minute. But I feel like you need to know when to hire somebody. I feel like at the level that I'm at now, I definitely need to hire somebody full time. I feel like, because it's so much stuff that she does. Sometimes she calls me and she be like, girl, I think I need an assistant, because you got so much going on. And it's crazy because I couldn't believe at one point in time that I was doing so much. And I feel like now when I come in here, yes, I help do certain things, especially when it's like weekends or days when we have like 100 orders. I come in and help, because I know that she doing 100 orders by herself is going to take maybe the whole entire day that she's here, her whole shift. And I know I want to have her do other stuff versus me just sitting home. I do come in and help, because that just makes sense, because I want my business to function, and also I want to stay in my business. I never want to let someone else run my business. I feel like I'll let somebody else do the things that I need them to do for my business, but I don't want nobody to ever take full control and be just like, this is my business, because ultimately this is my business. And I'm the one that's cutting the checks. You know what I mean? So I feel like even though I do have an employee, I do make sure that I have my hands and stuff, and I know what's going on, and I direct and this, that, and this, that, because that's just really, really important. Because if not, the first time you're not in it, then you lose sight of what's happening with your business. And that's not to say somebody's stealing or nothing like that. I'm just saying that in a sense of you lose sight of what's going on, or you don't pick up things that they didn't pick up because you're not there. And like I said, with her, me hiring her, that was just like one of the best things I ever could have done. And I see my business skyrocketing, like skyrocketing. Far as like, I got my taxes taken care of, honey. My business is now trademarked. My business is a corporation. It's just so many different things. So like, you can have a business, you can have your business as an LLC, sole prop, all that. My business is a corporation. So it's so many different things that I wanted to implement on the background and the front ground part of my business, and those things are now getting done. So I just wanted to share that little bit of a story with you guys, because I wanted to let y'all know what to expect from like my business entrepreneur series, and giving y'all a little bit more detail and in tune, so y'all can figure out what's happening with the business. You know what I mean? And what happened. I wanted to explain what happened to my business before I start going with my entrepreneurial series this time. But with this, I just feel like, it's mind blowing just how much of a well-running machine it is. And like I said, I don't know everything. I still learn stuff every day. It's a lot of things that I'm still getting my hands into. I feel like one thing that is definitely big is me getting my own clothing line manufactured and designing my own clothing line. Like, that's a big thing to me, because number one, that just something that really wasn't obtainable before, because I just didn't know what to do or how to do it. I feel like I said, I want somebody on my team that can teach me the stuff that I can teach them stuff too. And but yeah, I just feel like with me, I just wanted to share my story on why my clothing line stopped the first time, because I just wasn't in a place to run it. I didn't have help. I wasn't open enough. I feel like it was all reliant on me, and I just didn't have enough time, energy, and space. I just didn't. And I feel like this time it's so much more different. Like I said, I have a LA showroom now. I have different offices, spaces. It's just so much that I have that I can just bring to you guys and let y'all know. And so much. I've been watching so many YouTubers that are business entrepreneur YouTubers, and I just really be motivated, inspired by them, even ones that are smaller than me, just because of their drive and their energy. And I just feel like I just want to showcase that to you guys as well. So yeah, this is going to be a lot about everything, as far as like designing your own brand, designing your own clothing line, doing wholesale, doing all that kind of stuff. I just want to chime in and give y'all a little bit of snuff, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to share my story with you guys. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys. Mwah. See ya.